Good morning, everyone. So I am Miss Samantha, and I'm here again today for our mindful moment and story time. So if you remember how I like to start every day, we'll just sit up straight and tall. Back is like a nice strong string behind us. Our head, you can even put your hand on top of your head to see how tall you're sitting. And you're going to rest your hands on your chest or your belly, wherever you feel comfortable. Today we're going to take a few breaths together before I ring the bell. And then while I'm ringing the bell, just keep your eyes closed and noticing your breath and noticing the sound of the bell. Okay? So if we're ready, we can gently close our eyes. And rest your hands on your chest or your belly and breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And one more breath with me, breathing in, breathing out. And keep your eyes closed, noticing your breath. And now I'm going to ring the bell so you can hear the sound. And when you no longer hear the sound, you can open your eyes. Okay. So today is a bit more rainy and cloudy on my end. That's why I'm a little bit darker in this video. This room is usually filled with lots of bright light, and rainy days sometimes make me a little extra sleepy. So I'm not sure about you. But before we do that, I want us to do a little bit of an inner weather check. So yesterday we played the Rose game. Today, inspired by the weather outside, let's do an inner weather check. So for me, what I mean by inner weather check is inside we have our emotions, we have our feelings, everything happening. Sometimes you can feel bright and sunny inside, sometimes maybe you feel stormy or like a tornado, and sometimes maybe just cloudy, a little rainy, a little drizzle. So in just a moment, I want you to share your inner weather check with whoever you're with. So you can pause the video if you'd like, or you can tell later at dinner or at story time. But just inside, what is your current weather situation? So for me, I'm a little drizzly, a little gray today, and that's my inner weather check. Okay. So if you're done with your inner weather check, sometimes when I'm feeling a little drizzly, a little gray, there's some different activities I like to do. So today I'm going to teach you one of my kind of funniest breathing techniques when I'm feeling a little sad or a little tired. And my husband, even sometimes if I'm feeling a little gray or tired, he now knows to tell me to do it. So you put your hands up like this, and you put them next to your head. And this is called lion's breath. And so you breathe in like it's a big mane, and then you breathe out. Okay, so hands down, and then you'll breathe in as you raise your hands up, breathing in, and then hands down. Okay, so if anything, it usually helps you smile a bit, it helps relieve tension in your neck and your jaw, and usually makes people around you laugh just a little, and that's okay. So today's book that we're going to read, also inspired by the day, is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It's written by Judith Bjorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. This book itself is actually mine from when I was 5 years old. My mom used to read it to me all the time, and it's one of our favorite stories. So, cuddle in close, get comfy, and time for story time. See, pages are even falling out. It's been that loved and that old. So, I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I get out of bed this morning, I tripped on a skateboard. and by mistake I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car in his breakfast cereal box. Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get by the window, I'm going to be carsick. No one even answered me. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no but good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mom forgot to put in the dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist. And Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week, and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we're waiting for my mom to get to the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and for fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everyone. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said, "We're all sold out." They made me buy plain old white ones. You can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with the copy machine. But I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk. I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone. I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up from work anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner. I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV. I hated kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My favorite marble went down the drain. And I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia. So, this book, a little silly, but it's good to remember. Some days just might not feel that great, and that's okay. Figure out what helps you feel a little bit better in those days. And tell your friends, tell your family that's around you right now. A lot of us might be having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day today. And that's okay. Just figure out what you can do to either make it better or let the people around you know how to care for you. For that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll be back Monday morning. Are you ready for the bell? So, one more time. Sitting up, listening for a bell, and bye everyone.